So I'm going to let this little guy dry for a while I dry my hands thoroughly. And what we'll try instead is this, and with lots and lots of hope that it's going to work. So the idea that I had behind putting the glue in first was that it would hold the fiber optics in a lot better than simply stringing them in as I'm doing right now. The problem is, of course, that the glue will dry faster than you can thread, and it will hide all the holes that you're trying to thread. The downside to not having something to hold all this in while you thread it is that it is very easy for these to go flying out and doing their own thing. You really don't want them to. And one thing I'm trying to do here intentionally is leave about half of the thread on one side and half of the thread on the other, because I don't want them to accidentally fall out. If I had one of these threads in the front just over to the edge, that's going to want to foul out every single moment while I thread all these other ones in. And that's just a pain. I've got to get myself a higher power magnification on the glasses. So I'm using this headset here. That has these snap-in lenses, which is really freaking handy. I usually just use this one, which is 1.2 power. We'll tag in this one, which is 8 power. No, it's 1.8 power. So do you multiply powers or just add them? Either way, this has just changed my focus to right about here. Now I can really see what's going on. What I can't see is all the thread in the basket because it's too far away. Alright, so maybe this is going to be a little more complicated than I was hoping. So we'll raise the lens once to look for the thread, and there's one thread lost. Found it. Just about to fall off the table. So one thread has just fallen out. There's no way to really know where it fell out from. What I'm going to do is finish up this row and then try and pin everything down so I can see what's going on. Finding that counting out the rows that I do as I finish them is helping out. So right now I'm down to the last 2 in row 4, which means I've done 24 of them now. Alright, so I kind of want to even these out here because I don't want any more falling out. As long as there aren't any really short at any given end, I don't mind. Rather than trying to push some long ones through, bring all the short ones out to the same general length as the longest, and then I'll pull them all back through the other side. Yeah, there's a really short one. There's approximately 24. So what I'll do now to help my case out, it's still possible to pull some of these individually through. Let's see how many holes I missed. 22, 24. It looks like I got them all so far. It's possible that some of them are doubled up, but hopefully not. Oh, back to threading. And we're starting with row 5. Having the tape here is definitely being a hindrance because the thread is going straight into it and getting stuck half the time so far. What I should probably do, put the tape further down the thread. So having a lot of clearance on the back here is definitely going to help out. And sorry about the light positioning here, but I really got to see what's going on. This 1.8 power is definitely too strong, so I'm going to try and step down. Or, actually, let's try getting rid of the 1.2 instead. Nah, 1.8 is too strong. This is a nice kit because it comes with a bunch of different strengths that you can just plug in. Oh, and turns out I am dealing with the least powerful. Got a 2.5, 3.0, a 1.8, and a 1.2. The 1.2 is definitely too weak. The 1.8 seemed too strong, but let's give it another try. This isn't too bad. I can work with this. The only tough thing is having thread be so far away. It's not really tangled up with itself, but when you pull one, you definitely pull several threads out of there, and not being able to see that directly. Also, just a pain in the butt enough. Really want to fight you. It's definitely a job for a robot more than a person. Being clear, you can't really see what's going on with the threads too easily either. So I'm finding that repeating the numbers of the holes that I'm going for next, helping me keep track of where I am. Here we got thread 1 on the second to last row. I have lost track of the row count. When I say the second to last one, I mean the second to last one in this particular section of holes. So I think that's half an hour to get this far, and hopefully I won't lose any trying to gather them up here. So again, I'm going to pull some of the shorter ones through. They'll let me. I'm not trying to get these exactly even, but I do want to make sure that none are really long or short on one side or the other. And there we go, just about a half an hour to do about half of all the threads here. Definitely a lot of time. But it seems like once you get a groove going, it's not too bad. And now, as I had been using the white glue before, what I'll be doing this time, once these are all in, is I'll snug them down to the very end so there's only a little left above the top here. I'll blob all the white glue in several times, dry it, blob it, dry it, blob it, until it's got a really good firm connection. Then trim all the fronts off, and then this will be ready to be installed. There are 8 larger holes on the bottom. I will be going with a 0.5mm fiber optics on those. These are 0.25 right now. And let's get back to it. Almost 40 minutes it looks like on the camera.